Hello and welcome, I'm Tim and this is SV Paquita. If you remember from the last video, Chrisalita and I had flown down from New York down to meet up with a boat where we had taken a beating getting all the way down to Fort Lauderdale. You can see a couple videos back of our trip, horrible trip down there. But anyway, we got the boat there and we got to the boat there and we loaded it up with groceries and waited for Chrisalita's son, Deson, to show up. And then got on our way and headed over to Bimini. And wasn't the ideal weather conditions, but we got to Bimini, and then from Bimini, this is kind of picking up there. As you can see, we made it to Bimini. Now we're just changing spots. It's Christmas morning. That's our friends Andy and Sanja on Marisol. And Sput is just about hitting us, behind us. I don't know why he's so close, but I guess he wants to stay local. But he's behind us in damage control sailing channels, sailing vessel validated. Look at this beautiful weather. The wind is not, the wind is coming from exactly where we want to go, and that's going to be like that for a few days, like many days actually, according to those in the know. It does that for like 7 to 10 days, and then it clocks around again. So instead of getting beat up yesterday and then getting beaten up just motoring into weather, into the sea all the time, we figured that what we would do is have Christmas Day off, do a little fun stuff. We're gonna go down here where we can go get to another different anchorage and go, Andy's a diver, a dive master, and he wants to take us all snorkeling. And then I have a big roast I have to put in the oven. All right, look, that Spot gave us some more room. Look at the beautiful captain we have here. Chrisalita is running the ship. She runs a tight ship. And Deson, her son, is down below. Seems like we came around the corner and lost the wind. But that's all we got for now. Talk to you later. All right, Chrisalita.
Hey, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Deson?
Alexander here.
What?
Hey, see,
So she
that's
can
a
have
great
me.
joke, but nobody is going to know that in YouTube land.
Everybody knows what's Alexander drinking.
Sput, you got anything to say?
Merry Christmas.
There you go.
Good job.
The beautiful Suzuki.
Happy holidays.
And speaking of the beautiful, we've got the beautiful Suzuki and the Blanca Sanja.
That's me. Merry Christmas.
And Andy boy.
The Andy boy.
Hello,
Merry
people.
Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Look at the. Hey. Look at that.
That's
Look
bad
at
boys.
Aguacate
Bad
también.
boy.
Good morning. It's occurred to me that I haven't shot any video. Sput's over there from Damage Control Sailing. Like, come on, Sput, let's have a drink. And he's like, I gotta work on a video. I was like, oh yeah, I should probably do that sometime. Okay, so let me catch you up. Chrisalita and I flew down to Florida, and we got Paquita and we started loading her up with all kinds of food. I was really concerned because I had no communication with the boat while I was gone. The Starlink cable had popped off, and it didn't pop off. I think that in tying up the boat, it inadvertently, a line went over the cable and dropped it out because I had it precariously put there. It wasn't done right, and it's all on me. So anyway, while we were gone, while we had like, you know, $1,000 worth of meat in the 2 freezers and all that, I had no idea if the boat had enough sun, if everything was gonna, you know, I was gonna come back to a bunch of soup, you know, decomposing stuff. But anyway, the one thing that I did do right was that we get like water bottles, we leave like 1 inch of water in them, we freeze the bottoms of them, then when we leave, we flip them upside down. When we come back, if the ice is still at the top, then then everything in the freezer is fine, because we're gone in this case for a month. Anyway, we came back and the ice was, both of them was up at the top, so we're good. So thank goodness for that. But anyway, unfortunately, when we came back, the systems in the Bahamas this time of year, it usually blows out of the east for 7 to 10 days, and then it starts clocking around, and it goes all the way through. And the trick is to catch it so that you have a good Gulf Stream crossing, and then you use the northerlies to do a beam reach and get across the bank. And unfortunately, that was happening the day after we got here, got down to Florida, and we were waiting for Deson, Chrysalida's son, and so we couldn't leave without him. And in the process, my friend Sput, you guys remember Sput from Damage Control Sailing? Look at him plowing through on his, he's got an Island Packet 44. It looks like he's messing around on the bow. I hope he's having fun there. I hope he's not working on anything. Crashing through. Look at that, victory at sea. Anyway, Sput came down, and then off in the distance there, you can see Andy and Sanja from Marisol, and Sput and Susie are on Validated. And anyway, we all left together and came across and got to Bimini. Left, we all checked in together, and then the next day we just beat all the way over to the Berry Islands and tucked in. We've been there for 2 days. This is the 3rd day now, and we've left at 6 o'clock this morning, and we're headed over to Nassau, which, if those that are familiar with my channel know that I'm not the biggest fan of Nassau. However, we're going to a different spot. I haven't been to Jaws Beach, and I've only been right downtown, and it hasn't been a fun experience. I'm not saying Nassau's bad, it's just not my scene. Does that make sense? So anyway, I like to get, I'm not a city guy, you know? Anyway, we get, so we're headed over to Jaws Beach because Sput had an issue where one of his DC to DC chargers, or his only one, burnt up. And the cause of that is still being debated. He has a system different than mine. There's kind of 2 ways you can charge lithium, and it really has to do with how big your alternator is. If you got a big alternator, like in my case, I have a 170 amp alternator. So I have the alternator charge the house bank, and then a DC to DC charger that charges the starting battery, and it's you know, separate. So if the house bank was dead, you can still start the main engine, vice versa. Anyway, the guy that helped Sput with his system, who designed it, did it what I would, and look, I might be unfair saying this, but I think this comes because the van life people started doing this first, and that's that they would have their alternator charge their starting battery, and then they'd use a DC to DC charger to charge their main bank. And that's fine. It's just that at the time I put mine in, Victron had a 20 amp or 19 amp or something like that, and a 13 amp one or whatever. And it wasn't now they have this Orion one, which Sput has. It's a 50 amp one. But even at 50 amps, I'm putting in 3 times as much into my house bank with my alternator right now that we're motoring into. Well, let's see. We are motoring into true wind of 12 knots. And so the wind is, look at this. the wind is just about right on our nose. So all three of us are just motoring to get over there. And the idea is because so Sput had his system put in, and it may be a feedback issue where he hasn't got. There's an isolation transformer that he might not. He's unsure about that. I don't think that's it. He had everything tucked away in a really nice, clean install. The only problem with that was that there wasn't a lot of air circulation. And my thinking is, and I'm just guessing here, so I'm not pointing any fingers, but it would stand to reason to me that if you have a 50 amp DC to DC charger, in normal applications that might put out 50 amps for a little bit after you start something, and then it would stop, it would shut off. And when we were running for 15, 18 hours straight coming across the bank, and he's got 1200 amp hours of lithium too, and I think he was down to 40%, so he has a lot of battery to charge up, which would require the Orion to put out a max of 50 the whole time. And in that time, it would probably get very, very hot. And without any air circulation in there, it would stand to reason that might be the cause. Anyway, regardless of whether it's the cause or not, he needs to get another one. He's able to charge his batteries now from his generator, but that's less than ideal. So we are making way, motoring into the wind so that we all get over to Nassau, so that he can anchor up, and he's going to send his wife, Susie. She's going to get on a plane this afternoon, fly to Fort Lauderdale, and drive up to, I forget, they've got to drive like an hour and a half away, pick up this new one, and bring it back. And you might say, well, why doesn't he just have it put on a plane? Well, the thing that we don't know about is how long it's going to take with customs. You know, you hear some people say it takes 3 weeks to clear customs. Other people say you can do it in a couple hours. And the cool thing is that Sput and Susie want to sail with us as a group. Now we're going to be heading for the Exumas, and we want to have them with us as well. And if we got hung up, especially get hung up in Nassau for 2 or 3 weeks, that's nothing that I can do, because I have to get the boat all the way down to Georgetown to leave it in Georgetown when I go up to you know, my friend Runa is going to be watching the boat for me, and you know, he's coming down to take over the boat for me, I should say, while I go to work. And so I have to keep moving, and so I'm really happy that they're doing that. It seems like a lot of work, and I feel terrible for them, but they're gonna make it happen. So if everything goes right, we'll get into Jaws Beach tonight at 6. I mean, excuse me, at noon, and at 4 she should fly out, and she should be back on the first flight in the morning tomorrow. That will be Tuesday, and we'll hopefully head for Highborn Cay or Key or whatever. But my crew is sound asleep, as those Dominicans do, or at least the Dominicans on my boat tend to sleep in until at least 9, decent maybe 10. But we've been eating well. Something that's really kind of cool is I was concerned about these 2 days that were just blowing, you know, that were tucked in. You know, I can show you here on the plotter. Hopefully you can see this. Let me see if it's making lines. You know, if I do this, maybe I'll get rid of the lines. There we go, I got rid of the lines. So I can show you what we did. So you can see this is where we came across the bank here, from Bimini across here, like that. And then here's Chub Key right here. And we went by it because we knew it was going to blow out of the east, and we came all the way up here and anchored in here so that we'd have a little bit of protection. It was kind of weird because of all this fetch here. We still had a little bit of slop. It wasn't flat calm, but it was totally fine. But we were there for two days, and that gave me the opportunity, and then I'll show you here where we're going. So we're going to go over here. This is Nassau right here, and this is the infamous Jaws Beach. So I guess we'll film some of Jaws there. There's Sput right there. There's that yacht that just went by, and there's Marisol right behind us. But anyway, that time at anchor with the wind blowing, and it was yucky out. Like Andy and Sonia wanted to take us all up to see the sharks and the turtles, or they see them out there all the time. And nobody really wanted to get off the boat. It was just kind of yucky, blowing, overcast, raining, and it was blowing pretty good. So we all just kind of hunkered in, and then at night people would come over and we'd have Sonia and Andy have a water maker. So they've been filling jugs, bringing jugs over. And we've been topping up with water, which is really, really cool, because the water in the Bahamas is usually sold. They sell it for like 50 cents a gallon, so all happy about that. But I was starting to say that all that time at anchor gave me time to start doing a million projects that I've had. You know, any boat owner will tell you that you have to kind of do a triage of mission critical versus jobs you'd like to get done at some point. So little by little we'll get there. So hopefully this isn't boring you too much. The sun came up earlier and it was a beautiful red sky. You know how we love those red skies in the morning. But I'm thinking that's not going to be the case, because I actually think that we are at the end of this. The weather's already starting to track around. It's more, instead of east, it's more southeast right now, and almost out of the south. And I think it's going to track all the way around, and we're going to have like no wind for the next couple days. And I'm fine with that. Oddly enough, being here in the Berries, it's been cold. It's been cold, and so I wouldn't mind freezing to death. I mean, I'm sick of freezing to death. I wouldn't mind sweating a little bit, but. What a difference a few hours makes. We've been here in the Bahamas for like a week. Haven't seen the sun. It's been miserable, blowing its ass off. Look at this. Oh. When the chicken comes off, the lamb will go on, and Sanja and Andy got a huge crab and some lobster today. We're gonna eat that over at their place later on. Oh my God, it's so great. It's so finally fun to be in the water where the water is almost 78 degrees and we're just having fun and we're not freezing to death and the current isn't ripping. And I was able to mess around with the kind of really square up the hull to get an idea of what kind of work I have. So tomorrow morning I'm going to work on that all day today. But oh, what a wonderful time. So we're just cooking over here and they're getting ready over there. Sput is over here, and we, if you remember, I used to say how much I hated Nassau. Well, I was right in downtown Nassau. Wasn't a fan both times I went. But this is the western side in Jaws Beach. I guess that's Jaws Beach. They filmed Jaws and Flipper over here apparently. And oh my God, it's amazing. It doesn't feel like Nassau to me at all. All the problems I had before with Nassau don't exist here. We'll see how I feel tomorrow, but well, I mean, look at this water. We're in like, I think we're in 8 feet of water, and the anchor's barely dug in. I backed on it, but it stopped us, so I went and looked at it, and it looks fine to me, unless the wind changes around. But even if we do, we've got room all over us if we had to drag, and I've got my anchor alarm set up. So, oh, this water is, I don't know what you can see here with the light being, you know, with the sun going down over there and all that, but oh, it's just so beautiful here. And, we've had such a good time. This is wonderful. Tomorrow, hopefully, another thing I'm going to do is use some of this lumber here to build a new pulpit seat. We seem to put the bow under when it gets rough, and the seat is the first thing that goes. Then I got to get Deeson up the mast to move the radar reflectors up. You can see we've been swimming, and swimsuits and wetsuits and everything are all on the thing drying. Wonderful. Here comes some people going back to their boat. Oh, it's a beautiful night. I can't tell you how happy I have. I was so crushed about the time that we were, you know, just wasting before, where nothing was really happening. And you know, we're sitting there waiting for the weather or waiting for Deeson or whatever, and then when we finally crossed, we had motor and crossed into this nasty weather, and then just hunker down and sit out a blow for 2 days, and it's all worth it now. So it is wonderful. So the plan is Sput's wife Susie took off and she flew out. She's getting the part he needs. She'll be back tomorrow, and I imagine tomorrow we'll probably spend the night, and then the first thing, you know, first light Monday, not Monday morning, it's gonna be, yeah, the first day of the new year, Wednesday, we should start heading for Highborn Cay. So that's the plan. All right, see ya.
Mi celular conmigo.
Sput, damage control right here. Check it in.
Hey people, hello.
Hello, hello.
Hello, how are you?
Looking for.
How are you?
We've got chicken from the Kamado grill. We've got salad from the bowels of the galley. We've got lamb chops, rice, and the crab and lobster are coming out at any minute.
Right.
Ay, caray, lo encontré. Ay, caray, no.
How was your day?
Lo encontré. Ay,
Perfect today.
Mediocre, just half and half. Kasi.
Yeah, until what time did we go out swimming? 1?
Yeah.
Yeah, until 1 it was mediocre. I was working.
What was that shit? I just saw Sput do something. What was that? Are you getting ready for bed?
Listen, man.
I'm telling Susie, we're ready to go out to the strip club. Susie's gone.
Listen. First of all, I went to bed after midnight last night.
After midnight, did you let it all hang out?
Then I rolled.
Oh. Woo, look at that! El cangrejo! Wow!
yeah.
Man. And you know where that guy used to live? That crab used to live
Right here.
right over
Right
there.
now.
Now he's over here.
Right here until 3.
That's it. Ashes to ashes, dust to
At
dust.
3 p.m.
Todos los pecamos. Todos lo pecamos. El cangrejo y una langosta así.
Ah, see.
Muy grande. Mi
All right, that
mejor
was the
swimming
crab.
today.
Ah, pero falta.
Woohoo! Look at this.
Woohoo.
Wow! That looks fantastic.
Esto también lo pecamos hoy. Esto
Capitán.
es una langosta súper grande.
Capitán.
Happy New Year! 2025 is here. Who would have thunk it? And today's the 1st, and we are soaking up this beautiful Bahamian changing weather where the wind kind of snakes around. It blows out of the east for a while, and then it goes south, and then west, then north. Right now it's in the west thing. I suspect tomorrow it'll go north, and then back to the east again. And we have used, look at the water, look at it, looks like we're almost on the ground. It's crystal clear. I don't know if you can see it, the sun's kind of blocked in the clouds there, but oh my god, it's beautiful. Anyway, yes, so we have been, we were at Jaws Beach for the last couple days, waiting out some weather and We spent almost all day yesterday in the water. We were diving, you know, snorkeling I should say, and I was using the our new hookah system, the blue Nomad, to clean the hull. If you remember when I did the copper coat, I was supposed to clean the hull every 3 to 6 weeks, you know, just give it a light thing. Well, I did. I boat went in the water in July, and I've never done it once. And so I had to break some of the barnacles off. The barnacles that weren't, no barnacles were on any copper coat. It was where the copper coat, I didn't raise the water line up. I should have, had I known what I know now, and I would have removed the boot stripe and put the copper coat all the way to the top. That would have made life much better. But I didn't do that, but you live and learn. So I had to break those barnacles off, and then half of the hull, I was able to get half of it done where I just smushed the slime off of it. I'm gonna get the other half, well, maybe today or tomorrow. I was gonna bang it out, and I said, I had to remind myself, hey, I'm not at work. I don't have to do this. It's nice. Enjoy life. So we didn't do that. So anyway, we left this morning from Nassau, from the west side of Nassau, and left Jaws Beach. We've lost our friends Andy and Sonia. They've gone up to Spanish Wells, but Sput is right back there with Susie. The wind's been coming and going, but we've been able to get a little bit of breeze here, but we're at the end of it, so I think Sput rolled up his sails. I'm going to do the same here pretty soon. But we are going to go up here to Highborn Cay, and we're going to drop the hook. And I got to talk to Sput, because I have a plan. I was looking at the weather and looking at things to do. If everything goes right, and oh, look at this. As the sun comes up, you can see that water. I don't know if it comes across on the camera, but oh, it's amazing, amazing. Anyway, if everything goes right, Spud agrees with me. I want to leave tomorrow morning and try to get one of the first come, first serve land and sea park. That's what it is, Land and Sea Park National Reserve up here. They have 20 mooring buoys, and they're first come, first serve. So if we leave tomorrow morning, it's like 15 miles. Maybe get there in 3 hours or something like that, and hopefully get there as somebody else is leaving. Then we could spend the night there, and then we'd be close enough there, because I really want to get to Wardrick Wells. Oh, that place was amazing the last time I was there, and so I really want to show Sput that, and I just really want. It would be fun to be there. So, but you can't get there. You can only moor in the. You can only get their moorings, and if you anchor, you have to end up paying to anchor anyway. But the cool place to be is in the mooring field, and I'll put in some video. I ran my drone there a couple of years ago, and it was really cool. But anyway, so you can't just go and get there. You have to make a reservation. You can't do it by phone. You have to call in on Channel 9 and make a reservation for that morning. So I want to be close enough. So my idea is that if we leave here and we go to the next national park and pick up those first come, first serve buoys, we'll be in a perfect position to make a radio call and get there to try to reserve 2 moorings for us for the next day. And I think we can reserve them for 2 days. If we can do that, we'll do that. Anyway, we're getting close. Looks like the federales are out. Actually, that looks like a fishing boat. I saw the white stripe and had me convinced it was something else, but I do not believe that's the case. Anyway, yeah, we're not getting anything out of the sails. I'm going to heave these in and get ready to drop the hook. So that's it for now. Happy New Year!